In a world of crumbling ruins, lost souls, and eloquent cats, only its past can tell us the answers. Long ago. Many moons ago, in a land oh so far to the south, a tragedy transpired, one of love and loss. A queen betrothed to a king, but that king's heart was in a different castle. His heart yearned for what he could not have, one he could only hear when the cold east winds brought with them the tolling of the bells. Every day he waited for those bells, until one day, they stopped. His lover had been imprisoned for her sin, though he could never know this. In his pain, he set his sights on what lay before him. He was only an enfeebled king, until he discovered the scepter. He was able to create iron in any form, for any purpose, but his avarice didn't end there. He dug deeper, until one day he awoke it from its slumber, the soul of a long-forgotten lord. He met a terrible end. Mytha, his queen, loved him. She did everything she could to get his attention, to stop him from listening to those bells. She filled her body with all sorts of poisons in an attempt to become beautiful enough to win his heart. She found that the miasma kept her skin young, so she pumped it up from the mines to her tower. As she destroyed herself with envy and false hope, her childhood friend watched. He loved her and tried to do everything he could to show her his affections. But it just wasn't enough. In this day, their lust has turned them all into demons. All except the princess who stopped ringing her bell. Long Ago was brought to you by some guy with a crappy mic. If you enjoyed this video, you can feel free to like or do whatever you want. Subscribe if you want to. That would be wonderful. Anyways, if you want to hear more about the gameplay, stay tuned for a little bit, and we'll get right around to it. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed that story. I'm just gonna talk kind of about the playthrough right now, since some people probably have tuned out by now anyways. So basically we are fighting Mytha here. I die once, which is kinda sad. But yeah. Right now we still have the Hade Sword, and we're going to try to use the second Resonant Soul, but it doesn't work quite as well as it should. So what I'd recommend doing, and I've seen other kind of speedrunners do, is if you get 2 maces. What are they? They're not just maces. Anyways, if you get 2 maces and dual wield them on Mytha in power stance, apparently you can just lock her down and she won't even be able to do anything but flinch. So that's one way to beat her. Again, that's not my strategy, but I've seen that online. Normally what I do is just, try to get a strong weapon and defeat her that way. But anyways, about the story. So my reasoning is basically, well, I mean, the story kind of speaks for itself, but the most interesting part, I think, is that the old Iron King loves, the lost sinner. And this is all speculation, but with evidence, speculation with evidence, so, take it as you will. But, in my opinion, he loves the lost sinner, and the lost sinner can't do anything, she's locked up, so she stops ringing her bell. Mytha loves the old Iron King, but of course he loves someone else, so she is being driven mad by desire to just be wanted, and she's putting herself through all these horrible things to try to show the old Iron King that she's worth it. And he's completely obsessed with something else. Maybe by this time he has Gwyn's soul and he's going mad, or whatever. And then the covetous demon, whoever the covetous demon was, is in love with Mytha, who is in love with the old Iron King. So they all end up turning into these monsters because of unrequited love. And it's kind of the same thing as the last video, but it's kind of the entire theme to this area. And when we do the next video, which is the old Iron King, you're probably wondering, well, there's not really much more to talk about. And you'd be right. But we'll go a little bit more into the story of kind of how the old Iron King ended up becoming a giant fire demon and whatnot. So that's what I plan to do with that story. More about the DLC included in that. Maybe throw Raim back in there, since totally messed that up with the pursuer being Raim, but I think that would have made a better story. But you can't have everything your way, so that is all, guys. Thank you so much. About the gameplay, basically, I just like to run through this place. I do the side quest with this guy right here, so that I get his entire set of armor, thorn ring, that kind of thing. You know, it's not bad. It's really good, so yeah, that's about it. Just do that, then I don't even think there's any items that I necessarily get, and I just run off to the boss, because there's nothing really important to me here. But yeah, so you can see for yourself. We will be getting a very fun item, though, and that item is the weapon we'll be using for a large section of the game. It's not exactly the best weapon, but it's fun, so we'll see how that turns out, and that will be next episode. We'll kind of actually just have an update episode. There won't be a story, because it's basically just me, it's not really in an area, it's just me kind of doing my own thing, and trying to finish where we're at. So I think I'm going to speed up the video a little bit, so that you guys don't have to watch without any audio going on, or any entertainment at all. So thank you for listening to my rambling if you got this far, and if you enjoy the playthrough, that's awesome. But yeah, this area, it's a really cool looking area. I love the art design. A lot of the colors get washed out, even in, right now we're using a mod to make it darker and lighter, bring up the contrast, but that's one thing I was really disappointed about, is kind of the color palette. I mean, it matches it, but I think they could have done a little bit better. Anyways, so anything else we do here? Not really. This is actually kind of an unimportant area to us. Yeah, so, well, I will see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, like it. If you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome. Otherwise, you know, keep having fun, and I'll see you guys later.